All right. Can you please introduce us?
My name is Deputy Chief Nick Gazzillo. I'm the Deputy Chief of the 2nd Platoon Division Commander. I'm on the job 30 years.
Where were you when 9/11 occurred?
9/11 happened on an off day. I was home. I saw it on the news, and I immediately received a phone call from the North Hudson Regional Department to report to duty.
And did you go to the place right away?
No, originally we were called in to support any operations that were coming across the river, decontamination of people affected. We also sent companies down to Liberty State Park with a task force of ambulances to get a size up on what was needed down there. We had a task force ready to go, which was about 30 firefighters and officers with the several apparatus ready to respond over to New York when given the order.
And do you have any family or friends in particular who were at the World Trade Center?
I had a battalion chief from New York City Fire Department, Ori Palmer, that I was on a tunnel task force committee with, that he was Battalion 7, that he was the highest ranking chief officer that made it into the first tower. I also had friends of mine that I worked with in my other job that perished because they worked for Cantor Fitzgerald.
And how did it affect you in particular?
Well, it affected everybody in the area, how drastically something on a beautiful sunny day 16 years ago could turn into such a major catastrophe. And it just changed our world the way we know it now.
When did you realize it was a terrorist attack?
Well, I actually saw it on TV, and we joke around in the fire service, you know, when the guys, the off-duty guys joke about the on-duty guys, and I received a phone call from one of the guys I work with saying, "Chief, check on the news." It was about early in the morning. I was having my morning coffee. My kids were small, and I saw the World Trade Center, and I saw flames coming from the windows of the World Trade Center. I didn't realize that a plane had hit it. We didn't hear any reports yet. And I just joked, I said, "Oh, the boys in New York are going to be busy today," not realizing the magnitude of what I was watching on TV. And then I was able to see that other plane hit the building while watching TV, and then we realized it was something bigger than just an accidental plane running into a building. So we knew it was bigger than that.
And what do you think has changed since then?
I think awareness, Homeland Security, task forces from each state, like we have in our department. We sent over guys, a task force, every day for about a week to New York City to help on the pile. So most of the guys back then worked that pile from North Hudson, and for a week we went over there, authorized by our department, and then it wasn't until after that that it got so overwhelming with the amount of volunteers going over to help New York City that we stopped sending guys to work the pile, and we did ride alarms for them. We would relocate some fire engines and some firemen to go in New York City, and while their personnel were working the pile, we were actually responding to alarms for them. But what transpired in the state of New Jersey after that was New Jersey Task Force 1. It's an urban search and rescue division that's been trained since 9/11 throughout all of the counties in New Jersey, where there is a task force that recently they just responded to Houston, and they recently responded to Florida with the emergencies. And we have guys on North Hudson Regional that work for New Jersey Task Force 1 when they're not here, and they get deployed to areas that need special, highly trained individuals for rescue, for medical, for shoring, for swift water, for structural collapse, and just for anything that we could do to help. So that's transpired in the area. We're more ready for things like that.
Do you think we could prevent something like that?
Well, that's hard to say. I think what we practice here in North Hudson Regional, see something, say something, it's one step closer for everybody involved to if you see something that's not right, if you see something that's suspicious, call it in. And I think we practice that in our area more so than we ever did before.
All right, thank you very much.
That's it.